What's up, Fundamental Secrets? Marty, I know it's been a while since I made a video, so today I'm going to walk us through on basically how to set up a Kucoin account, deposit funds, and so you can finally start leverage trading. Now again, I've had Q&As where I've walked people through. It's one of the beginner Q&As. Let me just check right here on Discord. I believe that if you do go to the past live Q&As, the one that Johnny does obviously a good job of posting all these recordings, but this one right here from the 13th of October, this is the one where I basically spent like 30 minutes, breaking down Kucoin and how to deposit. Obviously, I know not everybody watches the recordings, which is fine. But again, guys, this is why we do the Q&As. This is why we do the recordings, so that then you can go and rewatch them and learn whatever it is that you missed. But no worries. It is really overdue for me to make a Kucoin leverage tutorial because obviously Alex has been getting into leverage and so has everybody else. So let me make a full comprehensive walkthrough. Again, I'm going to break everything down from setting up an account, depositing funds, and actually executing a trade. So let's jump in. So first thing is first, as you can see, you're going to have to go to Kucoin, all right? Kucoin.com. You guys can use my affiliate link if you want. I'll pin it to this video. So once you guys make an account, again, you don't need to KYC, or actually you can't fully KYC. So if you try to submit a picture of your license, technically Kucoin won't KYC you because they say it's not supported in the United States. But basically the level of KYC that they do is like verifying things like your phone number, your email, Google Authenticator, which is going to bring up your daily trading limit. Now, let's be honest, not a lot of us are, or I don't think any of us here are trading with over $500,000 worth of USDT every day. So it's not like we really have to worry about any of that. But if you do want to have high leverage, which I don't really recommend because you need to learn, you need to practice first, you will have to KYC as much as you can. And basically to do that, you would just come over here to where, there's the two letters for your name. You click on KYC verification, and then it would let you know. And as you can see, it says, verification failed. But nonetheless, so once you make a Kucoin account, there's a little wallet symbol up here in the top right corner. If you hover over it, it's going to show you your balance, and then it's going to have a bunch of different accounts. It's going to have a main account, a trading account, margin, futures, trading bot, etc., etc. The only three that you really are ever going to have to worry about with Kucoin in general is the main account, the trading account, and the futures account if you're doing leverage. So main account is just how it sounds. This is like your main account. This is where you would deposit funds. This is where you would withdraw funds from. Now you can buy USDT directly on Kucoin. You're just going to pay a pretty hefty fee. I think it's like 25. Like if you buy $500 worth of USDT, they take out like $25. And to do that, you would just go up to here where it says buy crypto, and you could do fast trade, Visa, MasterCard, peer-to-peer. Or third party. I believe I did the third party, but let's look at fast trade. Like I said, it's just going to charge you a pretty big fee. Now, normally what I do is I buy, I have my bank account linked to my Coinbase. So I buy USDC there because it's for no fees. And then basically, once the purchase goes through, I withdraw my USDC to my Kucoin and I pay a very small fee that way. There's just no way to get around it. You're going to have to pay a fee. You're just going to have to choose, which one that you want, which fee you want to spend it on. So let's say I do $500 here. Yeah, as you can see, if you buy $500 worth of USDT, you're actually going to get 477 because of the fee there. And then it lets you choose, do you want to do, a card, transfer wire, things like that. Like I said, I think I used BankX before. I believe it's slightly cheaper. I believe, let's just double check really quick. If it lets me here, third party. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do want to give you guys a full comprehensive walkthrough. So yeah, as we can see, you would just come over here. Let's see if there's USDT. There it is. And let's say $500. Don't mind my dog in the background. He's just trying to find what's going on out there. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to lose like $20 worth of fees. So yeah, that's your choice. But anyways, you want to deposit funds to your main account, so you'd come over to your main account, and then you could you can deposit USDT or USDC. For the futures, you are going to need, you can only trade in USDT, so you're going to have to deposit USDT. So you would come over here, you would click on deposit, then it's going to generate an address. You're going to pick which network you're sending it on. If you're doing it from any centralized exchange, 99% of the time it is on the Ethereum network. Please do remember that. If you are sending it from like a MetaMask or another blockchain, they do have a bunch of other networks that they do support. Then once you deposit it there, what you're gonna have to do is click on transfer, right? So just because it's in your main account doesn't mean you can start trading with it. So you would have to click on transfer, and then there's a drop down here and it says trading account, cross margin, or futures. You would select futures, and then you would basically pick how much of USDT you'd want to send over. So let's say you want to play around with $500 and you want to send over the whole amount, then you click on 500, you would type in 500, click on confirm, and then it would get sent there. And then as you can see, you also have the options up here. You just click on futures, and then it would show you your outstanding balance there. So as you can see, it says that I have about $616 here in my futures account. Obviously, I'm in profit, thank God. But let's say you're still back on the main account. You don't know how to get to the futures part of it. Basically, you want to come up over here to where it says derivatives, hover over Futures Classic and click on that, and that'll take you to the actual leverage trading platform. Okay, so this is how it looks. Obviously, if you're brand new, this might look a little scary. Again, watch this video all the way through, go through the course. Again, there's a bunch of great tutorials out there. I think even Nick made one. So this is it right here. Now you're actually gonna be able to start trading. Let's cover a couple of things. Right here in the bottom right, it's gonna show you your outstanding USDT. So if you send 500, you should see 500 in there. Top left, this is where you can actually pick your coin. Obviously I was an Optimism, but let's say you want to do Ethereum. You just type in the ETH ticker. As you can see, there's two kinds, USDT or USD. I always do USDT, always do the crypto stablecoin because it's going to be the most liquid, okay? You're not going to run into as many issues. And then it's obviously going to pull up the TradingView chart. So, if you're doing your analysis on actual TradingView, that's where I would recommend it. But one thing to remember is I want you to notice something is right here in TradingView, it shows that, the price of ETH here is 1554.80, right? And on Kucoin, it shows that it's 1554.80 now, but it was 75. There is usually a slight price discrepancy between actual TradingView and Kucoin. Just remember that. So if you were, let's say, eyeing a trade and you're like, oh, I think it's going to come up to here at 1670 on TradingView, and that's when you want your trade to actually execute. Well, what could happen is on TradingView, on the actual TradingView platform, it does hit the 1670 mark. But let's say on Kucoin, for whatever reason, because again, they're using APIs and things like that, it might only hit 1669. So you might have put in a limit order for 1670, and on actual TradingView, it shows that, hey, the candle or the wick got there, but on TradingView, it got up only to 1669. That's just something to remember, okay? Doesn't really happen a lot of times, but it can happen from time to time. So if you ever wonder, well, I had a limit order, it didn't go through for a buy or a sell, that's probably why, okay? So once you select whatever coin you want to trade, on the right hand side, this is where you're going to get fancy with your your actual trade. You're going to put how much leverage, how much you want, et cetera, et cetera. So you have three options. You have limit, market, and limit stop. Personally, I've never used the limit stop. I believe Alex has done it before. I'm not too familiar with it, so I don't really mess around with it. I only do limit or market order. So limit is basically your trade will execute if you want it to, if you think Ethereum or whatever coin is going to reach a certain price. So let's say right now, Ethereum's at 1555 and you think, I think Ethereum is going to top out at 1560, right? 1,560. And that's when I want my trade to actually go out, to be live. So you would type in, okay, I want to do, let's say we're shorting Ethereum, right? I want my short to kick in when Ethereum hits the price of 1560. All right, so you type in that price. In the amount, it's going to ask you, obviously, how much do you want to basically put into this trade? And it's going to go off of your amount down here. So let's say you had $500. Well, if you did 25%, that would be what? That would be $125 that you would be putting into this trade. 50% would be $250, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you can adjust it as well. So let's say you don't want to do $125, you want to do $100. You can play around with it right here. You can adjust this number. So as you can see right here, 25% of my futures account would be $155. Let's say I want to make it a flat $100, right? So it says 6.79. Let's see what happens if I type in 6.0. That brings it down to 137, so not good enough. Let's do 5.4. Okay, I'm getting there. Maybe it's 4.5 or something, right? Almost there. Maybe 4.1. No, a little too low. 4.4, right? So there you go. You could adjust it that way, or you can use the plus or minus, all right? And again, whatever amount you're putting in, that's how much you're risking. So, if the trade goes against you and you get liquidated, you're only going to lose $100. You're not going to lose your whole entire $500 that you have in the futures account. One thing to remember. So once you put in how much money you actually want to go into this trade, now you get to pick your leverage. So as you can see, it's a little slider here, and it goes all the way from 1x all the way up to 75x. Now, for those of you that aren't aware how leverage works, this is how it works. I'm going to break it down. Whatever percentage multiple the trade goes in your favor. So let's say I short Ethereum, right? I'm betting it's going to go to the downside. And let's say Ethereum drops 10% and I do 25x leverage. So whatever the actual percentage that Ethereum dropped, I would multiply my leverage by that to give me my overall return on my trade. So if Ethereum drops 10% and I have a short and I shorted with 25x leverage, I would do 10% times that 25x leverage, which would mean that I would get a 250% return on that trade. Got it? Ethereum's actual price dropped 10%. So let's actually just pull up Ethereum here in TradingView, I guess. Let me get it right here. Actually, I already had it open. So let's say Ethereum's price, let's say I did the leverage trade here, dropped 10%. So on TradingView, it's only 10%, but since I did a leverage short and I did 25x leverage, that means that I actually made 250% on the downside. So if I put in $100, that means that with a 10% drop in Ethereum, with the 25x leverage, my $100 just went into 250. Versus if you just shorted, let's say with 1x leverage, right? And Ethereum dropped 10%, then your trade, you only made $10 on that, right? Because 1%, or yeah, 1x leverage on 10% is just a 10% return. It's as simple as that. Got it? So that's how leverage works, right? Now, the lower leverage you go, the more risk tolerance you have, meaning that the trade can go in the opposite direction against you. So this is what liquidation is, right? So let's say that I opened up a leverage short position on Ethereum at this price, and let's say Ethereum went up to like 1600 or something. Well, then it means that at a certain price, I would get liquidated. So let's say I did 25x leverage, right? Let's say I do 25x leverage. I click on sell short, okay? So it lets me know, okay, if you execute the trade at the 1560 mark, if Ethereum reaches the price of 1,624, it means I would be liquidated. So my whole entire position would be lost, right? So the whole $285 that I'm risking would be gone, right? I would lose all that money. And the higher leverage you go, the less room for error you have, right? That means the less that the trade can go against you. So as you can see, at 25x leverage, my liquidation was at 1647. Now I went up to 50x leverage and my liquidation is 1592. So my breathing room gets a lot less, right? Let's see if I do 75x leverage. If I do 75x leverage, it shows me that my liquidation would be at 1582. So literally $30 more than here, okay? So that's why you have to be careful with leverage. Now vice versa, if I go, low leverage, let's say I do 5x leverage, all right? Let's see my liquidation point. My liquidation point would be 1876. So that means that Ethereum would literally have to pump, if I got in at this trade, 1876, Ethereum would have to literally pump 20% before my position gets liquidated. So this is why we try to, explain to you guys that, look, you can make leverage very low risk. You just do low leverage, a large amount. Yes, it means that you're gonna need the trade to really drop, or the price of that coin to really drop for you to make, any kind of return. But at least you know that, hey, I can put this trade in for the long term. So let's say, this is the top of Ethereum, and let's say you did 5x leverage. Well, who's to say that, this trade that you got in at, let's say in the next, 6 months, Ethereum really starts to drop, and let's say it goes down to the $540 mark right here. Well, if you did 5x leverage at this price and Ethereum reached that $540 mark from here, that means it'd be a 65% return, right? So what do? We would take the 65% and multiply it by 5, which, I have to do my math here. So let's do 65 times 5. So that'd be a 325% trade for you there. Now imagine, okay, well, I know my liquidation point is going to be quite, high. It means Ethereum would have to go 20% against me. Do I think it's going to do that? Probably not. Now let's say you did a $5,000 leverage trade on that trade right there, right? Let's say you did $5,000. Well, you just flipped 5K into over $15,000 off of one leverage trade position, and you waited, a decent amount of time. Let's say 3 to 6 months. So this is where you can definitely make leverage, very low risk. You just have to understand how it works all the way. So that's the leverage slider. Personally, for beginners, I don't recommend more than 5 or 10x leverage. The most I've ever done is like 25x, and to be honest, I've gotten burned more than I've actually made. So I just stick to like 10x usually. Sometimes, if I'm feeling bold, I'll go 15. But I do much shorter term trades, right? Alex does much longer term trades, and I recommend following that strategy because a lot of you are very new. So let's say you're getting ready to execute your trade. This is also, you have these two options here. It says TPSL of long or TPSL of short, basically meaning take profit or stop loss. So take profit is pretty self-explanatory. If Ethereum reaches a certain price, it's going to take profit on your profit that you had on that trade. So for instance, here you get to pick when do you want to take profit? Do you want to cut your position when you are 25% in profit, 50% in profit, 75% in profit, or 100% in profit? Or you could even type it in. Let's say, hey, I think ETH is going to go from 1553, like it says on the screen here, all the way down to, let's say, 1480. So it says it must be greater than 0, 1480. So you would just type that in, and basically meaning that it would take profit on your whole position, and you'd be 128% in profit. Okay, and it would cut the whole entire trade. Now, vice versa, let's say you want to put a stop loss. So what a stop loss is basically if the trade goes against you, it's going to cut the trade in the position, but you won't be getting liquidated. So you're only going to take a small hit. So for instance, let's say you do $100 into this trade, and you say, okay, I want to cut this position, or I want to cancel this trade if Ethereum goes, if the trade goes 15% against me. So meaning you would only lose $15, right? 15% of 100 is $15. So you could select the option, 15%, and it shows you, okay, if Ethereum goes up to the price of 1567, that would be, a 15% loss on your end, and they would cut the trade, meaning that you only lost $15 and you still kept the other, $85 left over, right? Versus when you get liquidated, you lose the whole entire amount. So liquidation would mean that you lost your whole $100 if that's what you were trading, okay? You could do a little less. You could do 5%. Obviously, that's very, very tight, the range there. When things get volatile, that can happen very, very quickly. Or you can do a little more. You can do 30% and 50%. So that's going to be up to you. But just remember that it means that your position, it's not Ethereum's actual price. It doesn't mean that, hey, if Ethereum goes 15% against me, I'm only going to lose $15. No, it means that with my leverage trade position, which would be 25x, when this leverage trade position goes 15% in the opposite direction because Ethereum's price went up, then I would it would cancel out the trade, and I would only lose $15 if I was risking $100. Okay, so you can set that ahead of time, or what you could also do is you can set it after your trade is live, right? So let's just do a trade here. Let's do 10x leverage just to make it easy and safe. All right, 10x, boom. So I'm doing a limit price of 1570. Okay. And then I did 10x leverage. I'm doing 25%. Boom, pretty easy, $154. So since I'm shorting, I would click on sell short. All right, it's just going over it one more time with me. Hey, this is how much you're risking. This would be your liquidation point, 1730. Awesome. So I'd click on sell. Okay. Then you're going to have a trading password, so make sure to put that in. You should have this pop up. If not, it means you didn't do your KYC all the way. So now notice, right, where it says positions, it says no data. It's because I did a limit order, meaning it's going to execute at a certain price, okay? So this means that, as you can see, there's also a little red line right there showing that, hey, when the price of Ethereum reaches this red line, my trade will go live, and then it'll go from an open order to an actual position, all right? And then again, it shows you here that your overall stats for the trade. Now, let's say that you did some more analysis and you don't think it's going to reach that price. We can cancel your trade here, okay? You'll click on cancel, and then it's going to return all of your funds, and then you can readjust if need be. Okay. Now a market order is, and everything in the market order is the same exact thing. A market order, all it means is it's going to execute the trade at the best price possible. Meaning that if I were to do 25% of my portfolio right now, it would just put this leverage short trade position in right now at whatever price it is. So same thing. I'm doing 10x leverage, doing 25%. I can set a stop loss or take profit ahead of time if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'll click on sell short. Same exact thing is showing my liquidation point, and I would click sell, and then boom, as you can see, now it shows me my position. All right, it shows you everything. It shows you your trade, how much it is, and then it's going to show your overall percentage, return, right, loss or return. Now you also have this little pen and notebook paper here. This is where you can also put in another stop loss or take profit. So if you didn't do it here ahead of your trade, you can do it, once your trade is live. So you would click on this, and then same thing, it shows you your take profit or your stop loss. So let's say you want to take profit at 25%, and it has things like last price, mark price, index price, and it drops it, and it explains it to you down here below. I usually do last price. So same thing, if you wanted to take profit on your whole entire position, once you're 25% in profit, you'd select that. You could do obviously more, or you could type in a different price, and vice versa. Let's say you want to do a stop loss because you forgot to set it ahead of time. So you could do a 5% stop loss, 15%, and it shows you that, hey, you know, your stop loss price would be 15.73, which then shows you ahead of time that, hey, if it does go up to this price, you know, you would have a loss of $20, right? And it's because my trade is a little more than $100, okay? So it'll even tell you your loss ahead of time if you did want to know, right? So as you can see, the lower your stop loss, the less you'll lose. The higher your stop loss, the more you'll lose, okay? So that's completely up to you. Now, you can also set a limit order as well here. So this would be a limit order on taking profit, okay? So let's say you don't want to take profit this way because you don't want to lose your whole entire position. Let's say that, hey, I think that Ethereum, you know, is at 1551 right now. I think Ethereum is going to at least come down to like 1500. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1500 as a price. And when Ethereum reaches that price for my leverage short, I want to take at least, you know, half of my investment out, okay? Which then it goes to show you that, hey, you know, if it does reach this price, you know, my profit would be about $25 there, but I would still have, you know, half of my position in there. So I did what, like $152. So basically I would be taking profit, you know, I'd be taking my $75 out on top of, you know, what I made profit. And then I'd have, you know, the other half left in there. And if Ethereum continues to go lower, then, you know, I'd be making more profit. Or, you know, you can do it kind of ahead of time. You know, let's say you want to do it a little bit lower and you could do more that you take profit on your whole position, okay? Or you could do a market order. This basically means that, hey, if you want to take profit right now because things are getting crazy, you got to go, you can't keep this trade open. Then you could click on, okay, I want to take half of my position out right now. I'm in profit, you know, 75% or 100%, and then you'd be good to go. So as you can see right here, let's say I do 50%. I'm going to do market order. I'll click on confirm. And then boom, as you can see, my 153 went to $76, meaning that I took half of my original position out on top of, you know, any profit that I made. And you would also see your overall profit reduce, okay? So let's say, you know, the trade went 50% in your favor. I like to do that, you know, every, I think 50%, I like to take out 25%. That's my strategy. Other people take 25% every 25% return. It's just going to completely come down to you, okay? Or let's say, hey, I just want to get out of this position all the way. I don't care if I'm in profit or at a loss. You just click market order, click 100%, and then boom, it's going to sell everything. Obviously, if you have profit, great for you. And then it would show you, you know, your profit here, okay? And then you also have other things right here, like close P&L position. So it's showing you your overall return, you know, showing you my P&L. I guess I lost, you know, 70 cents on that somehow. Take profit, stop loss, and order history as well. So, you know, if you ever kind of forget, like, what was your last trade and your return, you could look at it down here, all right? But that's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty straightforward. Obviously, whatever profit you make in your futures account, again, you're going to have to send it to your main account. So they have this button right here which says transfer. You'd click on that. Obviously, it's going to be Tether, and then it's going to say, you know, make sure you're sending it from your futures account back to your main account, and then you type in how much. So let's say you had a ridiculous trade, great payday, you turned a $100 account into $1,000. You want to go buy yourself a new MacBook or a fancy dinner, then you could do that. All right. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that was an informative tutorial. If you do have any more questions, again, reply to me in Discord or shoot me a DM. But I'm pretty sure I did touch on everything. There's a lot of other fancy gadgets in here. I don't mess around with it. Keep it simple. Just like Dwight Schrute said in The Office, keep it simple, stupid, right? The KISS method. Just keep it simple. Start with low leverage. You can't paper trade on Kucoin. You cannot paper trade on Kucoin. Johnny has made a video and tutorial on how to paper trade on TradingView. So maybe practice with that first before you use your own money. Or if you're feeling risky and you're like, hey, I have $200. I'm just going to play around with it. I don't care if I make money or lose money. Then you could do that. But I would not start throwing your life savings in here until you get a much better understanding of technical analysis, as well as you really understand how leverage works. And then even then start with a very small amount. So I hope you guys appreciated that, and I'll catch you in the next one.